It's hard to tell what exactly this movie wanted to be. It lacked the intrigue of the first Avengers film. The bad guy was clearly cut, to be sure. You knew it was Ultron the entire time, but his motives, his designs, and his plans were unnecessarily vague. I never felt like the Earth, or even very many people, were in harm's way. They never seemed like they were really in danger. Sure, Ultron is super powerful, but not particularly more so than the heroes. In fact, he spends a large portion of the movie on the run from them. The heroes themselves seem to never be in any real danger either, with a brief exception possibly being the fight between comrades. That's the only time anyone felt like they were ever in any real danger or could be hurt. Avengers 2 switched plots regularly. It started as a vengeance game against Hydra for the events of the Winter Soldier, a movie which is, in my opinion, the greatest film in the Marvel franchise, but that's personal opinion. But the mysterious hidden monster was laughably dismissed in short order. Within the first 20 minutes, all Hydra enemies had been destroyed, and no more mentions were heard. From there, we go on a Let's Find Ultron trek, one that doesn't go particularly well for the assembled cast. The plot turns back on itself 2 more times, by my count, with each faction taking turns hiding or trying to find the other side. Suddenly, we've gone from a nefarious and impossibly powerful machine looking to kill our favorite good guys to an elaborate game of hide-and-seek. Oh man, you found us, Ultron. Shucks. Now it's your turn to hide. 100, 99, 98, 97. You get the idea. Next, we're treated with a montage in all but name of our rascally bunch acting as crossing guards and traffic directors. What the hell just happened? Are we really going to show them evacuating a city for 10 minutes? Isn't there some better use of our time and your budget? Like maybe include 1 or 2 more slow-mo shots of Quicksilver. They went over so well in that other movie. You know, the movie that shall not be named. Days of Future Past. Anyway, the point is, why the ADHD tone, Joss? You're bouncing around like your end plan wasn't set in stone when you started to film. Like you had everybody show up on set and film some helping some old lady cross the street scenes to stall so nobody on cast would find out you didn't know what you were doing. And don't get me started on Hawkeye. Hawkeye. Yeah, something like that. Having a family. Suddenly we're treated with a series of quotes of why family and being a parent is the best thing ever. And Natasha, Nat, I don't know why they say it like that every time, Black Widow, is some sort of monster because she's sterile. Way to upset Tumblr, Joss. Shit's all kinds of triggered now. Better put my glasses on. The movie itself came across as a sort of last ode to Robert Downey Jr. From what I understand, he isn't set to be in any more Marvel films. He probably will be, but by the time I'm writing this, I don't think he is. Tony Stark is more or less the main character in this film. He gets the most screen time and the best writing. Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner is in the spotlight in this film as well. He is very well played, as we expect of anything Ruffalo does. He's a great actor, and I'm very glad they chose him for the role. It was nice to see some emotional expansion on the character this time around. All the other assembled Avengers didn't necessarily phone it in, but they received so little focus that they never really stood out. Between Ultron, Bruce, and Tony, the movie was full. Still, it was nice to see the ever-wonderful Linda Cardellini. I've loved that woman for the last 15 years. Speaking of wonderful, James Spader's Ultron was just that. He was a magnificent villain. Probably the best performance in the film. Spader brought enough nuance to the character to make up for what is perhaps poor writing. He did what he could with the script, and it worked incredibly well. I liked Ultron. I more than once found myself rooting for him. He was nefarious, and I loved him. I just wished he was more fully fleshed out by the writers. Oh well. That's not to say this is a bad movie. Oh no, this is no X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was a horrible movie. This is actually a pretty decent one. Maybe not as good as the first Avengers, and definitely not as good as the Winter Soldier, but it's pretty damn good. The wit and humor you expect from a Whedon film is all there. Hawkeye proves to be the new quip guy, and it works really well. The movie somehow manages to make fun of and yet relish in the insanity of a comic book movie. It's well done, it's pretty, I actually laughed, and that's pretty hard to make me do these days. I just wish they touched on Captain's internalized pain a bit more. Anything with Agent Carter makes me very happy and very sad at the same time. But I guess we'll get that in a later movie. If I had to give it a number, I'd give it a high 8 or a low 9 out of 10. But seriously, where the hell was Thor for most of the movie? It felt like he was off having some awesome Nordic trippy drug dream adventure, and we didn't get to see any of it. Lame.